Okay, good morning everyone. It's Wednesday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So we've just had this news that this guy Gary Conn's resigned from the White House and Trump's replaced him with some protectionist guy. Let's look at the charts. What I always do, turn off the news. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so basically, we're down about 1% in pre-market. I know the Dow futures are down over 300 points or whatever it might be. But looking at this, what have we got? This looks like a general or just a mild pullback. The 20 MA is now turning upwards, and even if we open here, the pattern's still intact. The pattern's still intact, and with this 20 MA now turning upwards, we might need a few more days of sideways consolidation, and we should be heading higher. I know it's hard to believe. I know, looking at the headlines, it looks like doom and gloom, and the EU wants to put tariffs on peanut butter imports and all sorts of crazy things. But let's just look at the charts, because the charts will tell us where the money flow is going. Let's look at the 10-minute chart. I mean, this is now the overnight session. You can see 7:30 a.m. So this is the spiders trading in pre-market. We dropped about 1% or so. Let me put the scale on there. Right. Whoops. Okay, so we dropped around 1.5% overnight, and look where we are now. We've started to recover this. So again, you've got to put everything in perspective. And also, I know some of you who are long ALB. You did really well to get in on that. Let's look at the intraday. It dropped initially, nearly 5%, and some of you were worried a bit, understandably so. However, what happens in pre-market and overnight, it's on very low volume, and I said very easily in the blink of an eye, this thing can come back up. And look, ALB is now in pre-market down only 1.27%, and if the spiders, go back up, which is what they're doing now, look at this. This is the 10-minute chart, 20 MA turning upwards. Let's put the hourly chart on. The 20 MA is still pointing upwards. It looks like we were oversold during the night session, and up we go. Let me turn off the pre-market data on this, and you'll see where we'll open. We should open here, and the 20 MA, we're going to be sitting just above it. The 20 MA on the hourly chart is pointing higher. These markets should be going higher. Let's look at the DIA. Again, it's just a mild pullback, well, off these lows, so there's no technical damage. Let's look at the IW and Russell 2000. Look at this. This has barely scratched the surface. It's not even anywhere near the low of yesterday. Again, let's look at pre-market. Let's turn it back on. Oh, okay. We've come off those lows of last night, so I would take what happens in the overnight session with a pinch of salt. And we are, if we open here, we're above the 50 MA, and look at this, the 20 MA on the Russell 2000 is now turning upwards. The Qs, there's nothing more to say. This is nothing. 20 MA is now turning upwards. Don't be surprised, guys, if we make it to new highs on the SPY. We've already made it up to the high on the Nasdaq. These things should be going higher. So I urge you, I know it's difficult, try and switch off the news, or if you watch it, don't take it seriously. Look at the charts. It will tell you everything, and I mean everything you need to know. Now, on that news, we saw gold go a bit higher. Let me see. Let's go to spot gold now, which I don't often do, but this is actual spot gold price. Let's go to the 10-minute chart. On that news, we jumped up about 0.45%, which is negligible. That's nothing. Look what's happened. Gold has sold off. So that should bode well now. Let's look at our GDX. I know there was some concern last night. I saw on the Facebook page, some of you were very fearful and said, our gold short is going to get fried. And I understand where you're coming from. But look at the chart. Spot gold hardly went up. The dollar didn't sink like, a lot was saying it would. And, we're down in pre-market on the GDX. We're down here already. Let's look at the GDXJ. A similar story. We're selling off. Especially because of that hourly chart. We're now closing below that 200 MA, which is, descending downwards. So we're still in a downtrend on the GDX. We've got, on the GDX, we've got the April expiry, which gives us a good month and a half. And on the GDXJ, we've got the last Friday. I think it's going to be a Thursday, because Friday is a holiday. So this thing now should really start to sell off. But again, look at the weekly pattern. Yeah, we're stuck here. This is just noise. This up move of the last few days is noise. Okay, it's unfortunate we didn't get the best entry possible, but we got a tail yesterday. That's a tail. So, that bodes downside for the gold miners. Look at that. We couldn't even stay at the high of the day. We were up over 3% at one point on the gold miners. And again, looking at the monthly chart, that 20 MA is turning downwards. So this thing should be going low. Now let's quickly review the other stocks that we are in. So MXIM, beautiful. Look at this. We pulled back. We entered yesterday or the day before. It's now starting to play out. So again, we've got April and I've got a strike price down here. So we'll have intrinsic value if it went sideways. MATX, look, reacting beautifully. We've got the June, we go back, what have we got? We've got the June 30 call, if I'm not mistaken. Matt, I know you're in this with me because we've talked about it quite a few times. Yeah, we bought in at 265. On the ask is 245. Not far to go. This thing needs a few more days and we'll start showing, a profit. But again, this is reacting nice. Look at these green candles. Green candles are good. DVAX, again, we pulled back. We're going back up. Green candles. Everything looks great. WIN, green candle. That looks like a bottoming tail. Again, I won't put too much into it as such, but that's positive action. Positive action. Again, disregard what's happening in pre-market because we're looking at the overall chart of the spiders. Everything's A-OK, everything's intact, and it's just a gentle pullback. EXPE, look at that. Green candles, starting to go in the right direction. Spiders, DIA, SDRL, that's something else I'm in. eBay, again, okay, down in pre-market, but disregard that for now. We're still above that 20 moving average, and even though we are down in pre-market, that's a negligible move. Right? All it takes is this 20 MA to go turn upwards a bit more over the next few days. We've got April. That's a good 6 weeks. So, this thing will take, one good day in the market, and this thing could go up 5 or 6%. What else have we got? Twitter. Yeah, small pullback, but we're at the high already. This thing should be going higher. ETP. Now, I know... Crown, I know you asked me about this, should we stop out of this? My methodology is I don't stop out based on what the price of the option is doing. As long as I've got the May expiry, giving it plenty of time. I've got the 18 call, which is here. So I've got, a good long 2 or 3 months now. From now, we're only the beginning of March. We've got all the way until April. And this thing needs to get to $19 for us to break even. There's no way I'm stopping out here and now. There's no technical damage on the chart. Yes, okay, we had a small pullback yesterday. We're nowhere near these lows. It will take a few days. It might go to and fro a bit, but as long as the general direction is up, we're in good shape for this one. We're in good shape. But again, never ever buy sort of an imminently expiring option or an option that's out of the money up here with a strike price up, because that's just asking for trouble. And I know you said, we're down 15% on it. Until you get used to our methodology and the sort of type of trading we do, I would caution everybody, please use a small position size. I know we're all desperate to make a killing in this market. We want to become the best traders in the world in the space of 1 month. I've got news. It takes time to get used to it. It takes time to learn it. It takes time to understand it. And it takes time to get used to the fact that sometimes trades take some time to play out. If you're doing everything with small size, there's no emotion, and you're just, it's nominal sums you're doing, but that training, that learning, that experience will feed you for life. It will give you profits for the rest of your life. Once you've, been doing this for about a year, you'll be able to do this without thinking twice. I mean, all of the positions I'm in, I have very little stress because generally I'm taking more cautious positions. I mean, let's go through. Snap, we entered yesterday. I took the May. So I'm giving this time. Right, even though I think this is going to run imminently, I'm giving this time. I've given it until May. I've got the 18 strike, so even if it goes sideways, I've got until May for this thing to get up here. I know a couple of you were going for April. If I was going to go for April, because I was thinking of it, I wouldn't have gone for the 18 strike. If I went for April, I would have gone for the 17 strike down here. So that if this thing goes sideways, I will still have intrinsic value, because from now until April, 6 weeks, it puts a bit of pressure on me, and I don't want that. Trading should be a stress-free experience, and it is obviously once you've been doing this for some time, you know what you're doing, you're confident. But I'm erring away from doing things that are going to make me nervous and uneasy, because if you're scared money never makes money. Okay, all right, guys. I think I'll wrap it up there, and by all means, let's continue to chat on the Facebook page. Hope everyone has a great trading day, and of course, we'll give you guys an update very shortly. Take care.